Man City suffer shock defeat to Bayer Leverkusen at home in the Champions League. Manchester City surprisingly lost 0-2 to Bayer Leverkusen right in their home ground, the Etihad Stadium, in the Champions League group stage. Despite Pep Guardiola making numerous personnel changes and fielding stars like Haaland, Man City could not penetrate Leverkusen's resilient defense. This defeat ended Man City's unbeaten streak and dropped them to 6th in the group standings, while Leverkusen secured a historic victory and opened up a chance for progression. Guardiola's blunder on a historical milestone day for Manchester City. Manchester City, featuring young goalkeeper James Trafford, suffered a helpless 0-2 defeat to Bayer Leverkusen in the Champions League, signaling a lack of direction from coach Pep Guardiola. Guardiola made a risky gamble. He changed 10 positions in the starting lineup against Leverkusen. Only Nico Gonzalez retained his spot. It wasn't merely rotation, but an almost complete reboot. However, changing a lot does not equate to changing correctly. A squad lacking cohesion, match fitness, and morale immediately revealed its disjointedness. In the first half, Man City held 54% possession and had 5 shots, a relatively small number compared to their typical performance at home 2 years ago, where they usually controlled 70 to 80% possession and gave the opponent no breathing room. There was no dominance, no continuous pressure, and none of the image of the English champions who once stormed Europe. Guardiola thought he was changing the approach, but in reality, he only created a much lower quality version of his old system, a structure that Leverkusen easily read, cut off, and breached. The deadlock was highlighted when Guardiola had to do something he has only executed 4 times in his entire career at Man City, making 3 consecutive substitutions at halftime. Ryan Ait-Nouri, Rico Lewis, and Oscar Bob were all taken off, replaced by Phil Foden, Jeremy Doku, and Nico O'Reilly. Yet, this panicked substitution spree did not help Man City play better. On the contrary, they conceded the second goal, also stemming from a systemic flaw due to poor flank defense. This suggests that Man City's problem was not with individuals but with the strategic core that was no longer a secret to the opponent. To salvage hope, Guardiola further brought on Erling Haaland and Ryan Cherki midway through the second half. But none of the changes managed to turn the tide. There was no tactical impetus, only confusion and helplessness. The use of Trafford, a goalkeeper without Champions League experience, instead of Donnarumma was seen as a subjective decision and inappropriate for the context of the match. This defeat shows that Man City's tactical issues have been figured out by their opponents, and Guardiola seems to have underestimated Leverkusen, leading to the inevitable result.